What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about The Summer Book. This is a film being distributed by Music Box. It stars Glenn Close. It's directed by Charlie McDowell, who also brought us two Netflix films that are pretty decent. The Discovery, which is actually quite timely considering the passing of Robert Redford. So if you're looking to double up and get a Charlie McDowell film and a Robert Redford film at the same time, The Discovery is on Netflix, and also Windfall, which had Jason Segel and it was pretty good. It gave me very Hitchcock vibes. I remember it. So I actually think I have a review of it on my channel, if I remember correctly. So yeah, two films I'm familiar with. This is based on a book. It takes place on an island off of Finland. I knew this wasn't going to have audio description because I know Music Box typically doesn't have audio description. I wish they would because they pick up a lot of international films, and there's such like a gap in terms of international cinema and blind and low vision audiences having any access to them. This year especially, I'm deeply worried about the amount of international films that are receiving sort of like high critical acclaim and seem to be in the Best Picture race. And I don't know if any of them are going to have audio description because I don't trust the distributors. So that's where we live all the time, is access to thoughts that are beyond ours are often limited. Which is such a shame. So I watched the Summer Book, sorry. I keep wanting to call it The Summer House, and I blame Bravo. But the Summer Book, because it's Glenn Close. So it's on me because, I don't have to accept these screeners. But I also wanted to see the Glenn Close movie. So we of course know that Glenn Close should have won an Academy Award by now. So I'm interested in all of her performances because I wonder if any of these performances are always a pathway to an Academy Award for her. Or, for example, in the case of this year, while I don't think she could possibly win for Wake Up Dead Man, is it possible that if enough people saw multiple good performances from Glenn Close, it would benefit her nomination for Wake Up Dead Man as sort of like did you see all the work that Glenn Close did in 2025? We should give her a nomination. And I think that would put her at 10. I think she's at 9. She's either at 8 or 9. I should have looked it up before this review. Anyway, so A Summer Book takes place, basically there are three leads in this. There's the young girl and her grandmother and her father, and they're all sort of at this vacation spot, the summer house. That's why I'm not that far off. There is a house in Summer Book. So, but they're going to this summer house, and there's an exploration of grief because somebody is missing from this gathering that typically would be there. And while dad seems to be getting second billing here, I really think this is more of like a grandmother-granddaughter film. I felt like the dad is part of the reason why grandma came along was because dad is still very much in his grief. The mother's not there. There's no mother. The mother is dead. It's not something that they talk about. It's just, I got press notes. So it's something that's very subtextual. And unless they have like a lot of visual imagery that has no sound cue to it at all, which would be weird, where they pick up a note that says it and stare at it and don't vocalize it. I don't know what that would be, but again, I don't have audio description. So, but the daughter, the mother's actually the daughter of Glenn Close, I believe. So she's also experiencing grief. So everybody's sort of trying to move through grief it's meditation on life. It's one of those films, and they're sort of isolated on this island off of Finland, which sometimes when you create isolationism, if you can say the word, you also sort of create a little bit of claustrophobia because you have nowhere to go. You have just this little area to go, and it's three people, and they can't really escape each other, and they can't escape their grief, and they can't escape the tomorrow. There's a scene where Glenn Close says something about like day after day, you know, that the day comes after the day, it comes after the day. There's also a really interesting thing about Girl Scouts and how her character brought Girl Scouts. I'm assuming not like to the world, but I don't know, to her area at least. And her granddaughter asks her about Girl Scouts, and she can't remember it and and it's a commentary on sort of memory, and because her granddaughter asked her specifically about, like, you know, being in a tent and all that kind of stuff. She's like, but I don't remember being in a tent. I remember doing all the work to get the Girl Scouts here, but I don't actually remember ever getting to sleep in a tent and what that experience is like, and sort of how we retain some but not all memories. And that's true. I was thinking even of something in my generation. It's like, I remember my childhood, but I don't know that I remember every single moment of my childhood. So I think that's only going to grow as I get older. The distance from the memory creates more gaps, creates more of a, what was it like to be in there? What did I do? How did I get there? You know, like questions like that where you ask an answer in your mind. Of course, Glenn Close is amazing because she always is. She just walks on the film. She's like, "Hello, I'm here. I'm trying to get an Oscar. Can we make that happen?" So yeah, I mean, it's yet another strong performance from Glenn Close, and probably the reason that you would watch this film. Anderson Lee is also I know I just messed up his name. I got through it sort of. Is the father. I know I've seen him in stuff. The girl is new as a breakthrough. I'm not big on making broad comments when I don't like a child performer. So we're just gonna say I wasn't a fan. I thought it was, every line was delivered sort of like the same pattern. There wasn't a lot of diversity or in the inflection of her voice. It was, every line was just kind of like the same. And I didn't get a lot out of her. It's interesting. Maybe she's a very physical performer, but that's the thing that I always find out, even as I work with actors in real life. It's like I can tell them about all of the colors in their voice and how they are and aren't saying, and the little things that they can do, but the physicality of it, right? But it's mirrored both. You have to have both. And to me, this girl might be delightful and have a great physicality performance, but if you strip away the visuals behind it, I thought she delivered every single line the same. And I always feel very uncomfortable critiquing child performers, but I know there are plenty of people who seem to like her performance, so cool. It is a little slow, especially when you don't have audio description, because this is a meditative film, so there is not a lot of audio description in it. I mean, there's no audio description in it, so there's not a lot of dialogue in the film, so go forth cautiously. Luckily, I love the score. I thought the score was beautiful. So it's nice, at least when you're left to your, like, well, I don't know what's happening, but this music is lovely, you know? Like, that's nice, at least. Sometimes I get left to music and I'm like, what is this? What is this? What is this score? How is this helping anything? So luckily the score was good. And like I said, I don't regret coming in for the Glenn Close performance. But this film is a little unwatchable without audio description. I would not recommend it to a blind or low vision audience. Um, but I try to walk into everything, and I was just watching a review from another critic that I like about from a different film that I've yet to screen, and I appreciated, like, right up front, all of the biases. I think that's great. You say these are the kind of films that I like, or this is why I watched the movie, or I was excited to go into this, I wasn't excited to go into this, all those kind of things. So I've told you basically everything realistically, so that um, you can gauge my own attachment to this movie. And honestly, it was because of Glenn Close. I Yeah, I'm here mostly to talk about being a blind film critic and to talk about audio description, but I also just wanted to see Glenn Close knock one out of the park, and I got that. So, um, I have a feeling, even though the film is a little, it feels a little slow. It feels a little slow because I have nothing during those segments without audio description to do or to look at. I read the director's notes, and he wanted this to be like, to like an assault on all the senses. And I was like, well, what if you don't have all of them? you know, I and all the specific ways he shot all the different actors, and it's like audio description would cover a lot of that, but it would have been nice to have it and to know what was happening in the scenes in between. Um, I struggled with this because I should give this rotten, and I should just be like, well, the audio description made it unwatchable. It made it so that I couldn't follow or understand the movie. Plus, I'm not crazy about the young actress's performance, so the only reason to watch the film is Glenn Close. But that's a really strong reason to watch the movie, and it's the reason I showed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reason I walked in, well, I didn't walk in. The reason that I chose to watch a summer book, by the way, the title comes from the little girl who's making a summer book. Otherwise, Summer House would have been a natural title choice for this, but or Summer Island, also. Uh, I came for Glenn Close, and I got Glenn Close. I didn't come for the other stuff. Like, I walked into a film, and I knew point blank it wasn't going to have audio description, but it was going to have Glenn Close. And do I punish the film for that? Like, I made the choice. I don't know. So I'm gonna give it a very narrow, very light, fresh, because I feel like, for me personally, and this is why I'm trying to explain it, the biases and everything, is sometimes my bias is met. Like, I don't know, on my website, always say I have macmovie.com. I've been doing sort of like a monthly roundup of sort of how I feel about the best of the year. I keep bringing up the parenting, which I don't think anybody gets, but I'm a big Brian Cox fan. And so I was doing this last year with Little Wing. Like, whatever film I feel like best represents Brian Cox is going to float in and around my best of list until I see enough things that would ever knock it out. So I'm sure people are like, the parenting? Really? That wasn't a good. I love Brian Cox. Like, I'll watch anything with him in it. So naturally I would swing more to that. I don't care if the parenting had or did not have audio description. It has Brian Cox. So here I came for Glenn Close, and I got Glenn Close. So Music Box, luckily, is getting away with a free, fresh score from me because the person that I came for fully delivered on every conceivable, and every scene. Glenn Close pulls you in, even if you don't contextually understand what was happening before that, because you went without audio description for like 2 minutes. You know, she pulls you right back in, and you're in it, and you're just like, man, this feels like a lived-in character. I keep thinking always about her character in Hook, People don't know she's in Hook. She's in Hook. She's in Hook for like 30 seconds in that scene where Dustin Hoffman's coming down and Peter is he's in disguise as a pirate, and Hook is like, "One of you didn't believe in me." He's like, "You." And he's walking through, and it looks like he's gonna pick Peter, but he picks another pirate. Well, the other pirate is Glenn Close in drag. It's good. Like Glenn Close is dressed as a male pirate, and it's such a small role because Glenn Close just gets picked and then thrown into the trap, and I mean, she's so unbelievable in this weird pirate role that I think most people just it just passed them over that was Glenn Close. Oh my God. And it's not like her career had already happened. We already knew who Glenn Close was by that point. So it was just an interesting little Steven Spielberg cameo. She's a fantastic actress. So yeah, I came for that. And sometimes that's okay. I'm somebody who shows up for actors. I'm somebody who can watch a film because of an actor, and that can be rewarding for me. And the film can maybe not work, but I love the performance. And I revisit films with strong performances in them where the film is like, it's an okay film, but oh my God, did you see the performance? You know, like I liked Precious, but oh my God, did you see Monique? Jesus, like if you haven't seen Precious and you haven't seen Monique's performance, you got to see that. So there's so many times where I can think of that. And this is one of those cases where it's like, I think Glenn Close transcends everything about this movie. Not that I think Charlie McDowell's a bad director. I think I liked Discovery and Windfall. I don't think they're, film classics, but they're both good films. I'm sure this is, if I had audio description, I'm sure the score would just be higher. I don't think it would be lower. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's the smallest score I can give a film and still consider it fresh because there is such an accessibility gap here, and I'm admitting that like 100%. Blind film critic side, if you're blind and low vision and you're watching me, please don't watch this. Like, unless you're a huge Glenn Close fan, you will not get anything out of it. But it's awards season, and I'm going to get films like this, and I saw Glenn Close is in a movie, and I was like, Glenn Close is in a movie, and I didn't know about it? I have to see this. So, yeah, I like her. I like her so much. I like Hubili Elegy. That's like, I was one of the people who thought that was a good performance from Glenn Close. I did not like the Razzie nomination. So rarely does Glenn Close ever disappoint me. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the other side.